Ever walked down the candy aisle, spotted that bright red bag of Skittles, and felt an instant urge to taste the rainbow? You're not alone. Skittles aren't just candy. They're an American pop culture icon, a sugary burst of color and flavor that's been putting smiles on faces for decades. They're chewy, tangy, sweet, and just the right amount of tart to keep you reaching for more. But here's the twist: behind that tiny, colorful candy is a surprisingly complex and fascinating process involving carefully selected ingredients, industrial precision, and a lot of science. In fact, more than 20,000 Skittles are produced. Every single minute, that's over 3,300 every second. From the moment the sugar is poured into massive mixers to the final sealing of each bag. Every Skittle you've ever eaten has taken a carefully engineered journey. Today, we're going behind the scenes to uncover exactly how these little rainbow gems are made, and, trust me, you'll never look at them the same way again. Skittles first appeared in 1974. Born in the UK under the rather fancy-sounding company name Shrewberries. At the time, they weren't the global sensation they are now. They were created by a man named William Wrigley Jr., the same Wrigley who became a giant in the gum industry. Back then, the idea was simple: make a chewy candy bursting with fruity flavor and color. The first flavors were the classics: orange, lemon, lime, strawberry, and grape. They didn't even carry the Skittles name at first. Instead, they were marketed simply as fruit candies. A missed opportunity? Definitely. It wasn't until the early 1980s that they crossed the Atlantic and landed in the United States, where candy lovers embraced them instantly. Once Skittles hit the US, their marketing took a whimsical turn. Early commercials sold them as a magical, almost mystical candy, a rainbow you could taste. Then, in the 1990s, the now legendary slogan "Taste the Rainbow" was born. And Skittles commercials got even stranger. Teeth turning into Skittles, color raining from the sky, bizarre talking animals, you name it, they tried it, and somehow it worked. The ads became as iconic as the candy itself. Over time, new flavors arrived, from tropical and wildberry to limited edition sweet heat and seasonal mixes. But one thing stayed the same: Skittles remained chewy, colorful, and addictive. They even inspired clothing lines, novelty products, and lip balms. Because why not smell like a fruit salad on a sugar high? Now, let's talk about how Skittles are actually made. It all starts with the key ingredient: sugar. Not just any sugar, but high-quality granulated sugar combined with corn syrup to give Skittles their signature chewy texture. Hydrogenated palm kernel oil is added for smoothness and structurates what prevents them from being brittle. Citric acid comes next, providing that tangy kick that balances the sweetness and keeps you coming back for more. Then comes the real magic: color and flavor. Artificial colors like red, 4D, yellow, 5, and blue 1 give Skittles their vibrant hues. While concentrated fruit essences, both natural and artificial, create the familiar flavors you know. Once the ingredients are precisely measured, they head into massive industrial mixing vats, where they're blended into a thick, syrupy concoction. This mixture is heated to dissolve the sugar, then cooled slightly for the perfect texture. Coloring agents are slowly blended in, ensuring each piece will have a perfectly even tone. The mixture is then extruded into long ropes, which are fed into cutting machines that slice them into small, soft pellets: future Skittles. At this stage, they're coated in starch so they don't stick together. Then comes the tumbling and coating process. In large rotating drums, each pellet is repeatedly coated with a glossy sugar glaze, sometimes with a touch of carnauba wax for that irresistible shine. This step locks in flavor and keeps Skittles from drying out. After coating, they're sent through cooling tunnels where chilled air hardens the glaze without affecting the chewy center. Quality control is intense. Optical scanners check size, shape, and color, rejecting any piece that's off. Workers also inspect batches manually. Only the best candies make it into those colorful bags. The packaging process is just as precise. Automated machines weigh the exact amount of Skittles for each bag. Seal them tightly and apply that unmistakable red branding. From there, pallets of candy are shipped nationwide to stores, vending machines, and cinemas ready to be grabbed by eager fans. Now, if you think Skittles are fun to make, bubblegum's origin story is even wilder. Americans chew about 300 pieces of gum per person every year, and bubblegum is a standout favorite. It all started in 1928 when Walter Demers, an accountant at the Fleer Chewing Gum Company in Philadelphia, was experimenting with gum recipes. He wasn't trying to invent anything groundbreaking, just a gum that was less sticky. But his experiment resulted in a stretchy, bubble-friendly gum that was easy to chew and fun to play with. He called it Double Bubble, and it became an instant hit. The pink color. That was pure chance. Pink dye was the only color available in Demers' lab that day, and it stuck, literally and figuratively. Soon, pink became the worldwide symbol of bubblegum. Through the 1930s, 40s, and 50s, bubble blowing became a competitive sport among kids. School playgrounds were full of oversized bubbles and sticky disasters. Teachers hated it, but gum lovers couldn't care less. The 70s and 80s brought even more brands. Hubba Bubba, Big League Chew and cemented bubblegum as a nostalgic American classic. Modern bubblegum starts with a gum base made from synthetic polymers like butadiene and styrene, which provide elasticity and chewiness. In the early days, gum base came from natural latex tapped from rubber trees. But synthetics are now preferred for consistency. Sugar and corn syrup are added for sweetness and moisture retention, while concentrated flavorings, fruit blends, mint, or the iconic bubblegum flavor complete the taste. Food-grade dyes bring the color to life. Production begins by melting the gum base into a sticky mass, blending in sweeteners, then mixing in flavors and colors. The warm gum is kneaded until smooth, then rolled into thick sheets. These sheets are cooled, scored into strips, and cut into sticks or bite-sized chunks. A light dusting of powdered sugar or cornstarch keeps them from sticking together before they're wrapped in colorful packaging and shipped out. Both Skittles and Bubble gum may seem like simple treats, but they're the product of decades of innovation, precision, and, yes, a little whimsy. Whether you're popping a piece of gum to freshen your breath or tearing open a bag of Skittles to taste that rainbow, you're enjoying the result of carefully honed processes designed to delight. And maybe that's why these candies never seem to lose their magic. They're not just sugar and flavor. They're tiny, chewable pieces of happiness. If you've ever unwrapped a stick of bubblegum, popped it into your mouth, and blown a perfect, glossy bubble, you've probably never stopped to think about the long, fascinating journey that piece of gum took before it reached you. It's a process that blends science, engineering, and just a bit of fun. The story starts in massive industrial-grade mixers and melters, machines so large and powerful they could make a home kitchen mixer look like a toy. Here, the gum base, a thick, stiff, rubbery material, is heated just enough to soften without turning into a gooey mess. The temperature has to be perfect. Too hot, and the gum becomes runny and impossible to shape. Too cool, and it won't blend properly with the other ingredients. Once softened to a smooth, pliable consistency, the gum base is ready to welcome its sweet partners: corn syrup, glucose syrup, or even honey in some all-natural recipes. These liquid sweeteners are poured in, and the giant mixers go to work, turning slowly but powerfully to ensure every drop is blended evenly, leaving no clumps behind. Some modern gum factories take this a step further, using an extrusion process that forces the sweetened gum base through heated screens to make sure everything is perfectly distributed. This is where the magic starts to happen. Flavors and colors join the mix. Flavor experts carefully add concentrated extracts designed specifically for bubblegum, ranging from classic fruity notes to more adventurous tastes. Liquid food dyes follow, swirling into the mixture and transforming it into that bright, cheerful color we all associate with gum. Quality control teams test small samples to make sure every batch looks and tastes exactly the same. Because consistency is king in the candy world, with the flavor locked in, it's time for the gum to take shape. Massive automated rollers flatten the sticky mixture into long, wide sheets about 1/4 of an inch thick. These rollers are set with extreme precision, ensuring every sheet has uniform thickness. But the gum is still warm and flexible. So it heads into cooling tunnels, long enclosed chambers where chilled air circulates around it, gradually firming it up to a workable texture. Once cooled, the gum is ready for extrusion again, this time to form long ropes or strips. These are cut to size, ready to become sticks, squares, or pellets, depending on the final product design. In some factories, the gum goes through a scoring stage where light cuts are made so it can snap easily into perfect pieces later on. A dusting of powdered sugar or cornstarch keeps everything from sticking together. From here, conveyor belts carry the gum into packaging areas. Sleek machines wrap individual pieces in wax paper, seal blister packs, or load bulk containers for bigger packages. Every step is timed perfectly so the gum stays fresh and chewy, never dry or overly sticky. Quality inspectors check for flavor, elasticity, and even bubble size. Yes, there's equipment to measure exactly how big a bubble can get before it pops. Once approved, the gum is boxed, palletized, and shipped off to warehouses, supermarkets, and convenience stores, ready for that satisfying first chew. But gum isn't the only product that undergoes a fascinating, close, high-tech transformation before it reaches you. Take Sprite, for example, the crisp lemon-lime soda that's been a favorite in the U.S. since 1961. It's easy to pop open a chilled can on a hot day without thinking twice. But behind every refreshing sip is a carefully orchestrated production process that ensures each bottle or can tastes exactly the same, no matter where in the world it's made. Sprite's story begins with its rivalry against 7-Up, which dominated the lemon-lime soda scene in the mid-20th century. Coca-Cola, determined to compete, launched Sprite in Germany in 1959 under the awkward name Fanta Claire Zitroni, before giving it a catchier identity for its U.S. debut 2 years later. From there, it quickly carved out its own space in pop culture, fueled by clever ad campaigns like the iconic "Obey Your Thirst" slogan in the 1990s. Over the decades, Sprite has remained cool, refreshing, and unapologetically lemon, lime, and fizz done right. The making of Sprite starts with something deceptively simple: water. But this isn't just tap water before it touches any flavoring or carbonation. It's filtered and purified to remove every trace of chlorine, minerals, or microscopic impurities. This ensures a clean, neutral base for the soda's bright citrus flavors. Sugar is next, arriving at the factory in huge quantities, either as cane sugar or high fructose corn syrup, depending on the region. It's dissolved into hot water to create a smooth syrup, which is cooled and stored in stainless steel tanks. Then comes Sprite's secret weapon, its lemon-lime flavor blend. This isn't made from juice, it's crafted from essential oils extracted from citrus peels using cold pressing or steam distillation. These concentrated oils are mixed in precise ratios to deliver Sprite's signature balance of tartness and cues and sweetness. Citric acid joins the party, giving the soda its subtle temps and helping preserve freshness. Meanwhile, it's carbon dioxide, the ingredient responsible for that satisfying fizz, stored under pressure in massive tanks. The purified water is chilled, then infused with CO under exact temperature and pressure conditions to ensure the perfect level of bubbles. Too much fizz, and the drink overflows the second you open it. Too little, and it tastes flat. The magic moment comes when the syrup and carbonated water meet. This has to be done gently to prevent losing carbonation. So automated mixing systems combine them with precision, creating that perfect Sprite flavor in every batch. From here, the soda, it's funneled directly into bottles or cans, but not before the containers are sterilized with hot steam or high-pressure air. Filling machines work at lightning speed, dispensing the exact right amount into each container. Before capping or sealing them, every bottle and can passes through a gauntlet of quality checks. Machines scan for dents, loose caps, or misaligned labels, while technicians taste test random samples to ensure the flavor, carbonation, and clarity are flawless. Once approved, the Sprite is packed into cases, loaded onto pallets, and sent to distribution centers, eventually landing in supermarkets, vending machines, and restaurants across the country. From gum to soda, these everyday treats are the result of precise engineering, careful quality control, and a little bit of brand magic. Whether you're blowing the perfect bubble or cracking open an ice-cold Sprite, you're enjoying the end result of a process designed to deliver consistency, freshness, and fun every single time. The next time you chew or sip, you might just find yourself picturing the vast mixers, cooling tunnels, flavor labs, and bottling lines that make it all possible. After all, behind every simple pleasure is a surprisingly complex story, and in the case of gum and Sprite, it's a story worth savoring one chew and one sip at a time.